Thank you and welcome to the show this morning. The topic this morning is Big Brothers of Nashville. And we have three guests to talk about Big Brothers of Nashville. Joining us in this first segment is Mr. RCohn, who is the president, one of the past presidents of the organization called Big Brothers of Nashville. And we've decided to entitle this the Big Brothers of Nashville 2005. And of course, Mr. Cohn, let me welcome you to the show this morning.
Thank you.
Very good. And to tell you why and how important it is that we call this Big Brothers of Nashville 2000.
This country.
7 or 8 years ago, we had an opportunity to have another member of your organization, Ms. Abernathy, and several other persons as part of our show. And so we really appreciate you coming by and giving us that kind of information. But before we get into Big Brothers of Nashville 2005, Mr. Cohn, let's have you to give us some information about RCohn. Talk about your background, education, and similar kinds of information. And then we'll talk about something else.
I graduated from West High School in 1946. I was elected to the Metropolitan Council, served 7 years. I was on the Board of Governors of the Chamber of Commerce for 3 years. I have been very active in the community, and I'm a past president of Big Brothers of Nashville.
Very good.
Which I'm very proud. I've also been 34 years perfect attendance at my Kiwanis Club, and so I stay pretty busy.
I would imagine so. You've been there 38 years, 34 years.
34 years.
You've never missed a meeting.
Correct.
That must be a record in itself.
Well, there are people who've been there longer, but they're older than I am.
Okay, okay, very good. And of course, we're delighted to have you here to talk about an organization that we know to be very, very dear to you, because you have been the president of this organization. Correct. And we understand that you're having some problems in terms of identity and et cetera with that organization. Let's talk about the history of that organization.
Okay. Big Brothers of Nashville Incorporated is going to be 100 years old in about 3 years. It's Nashville's oldest non-denominational charity organization. I guess that's why I made me historian, because I go back so far with the organization. Different organizations participate. We have what normally called associations or syndicates that help us. And it started out by just a few people selling newspapers on the street corner in downtown Nashville to help those who were needy. And this goes back in the 1900s early. And it's progressed. Big Brothers is frequently known as the agency of last resort. We do things that nobody else will do. And it's been a pleasure to be part of Big Brothers. As I've looked through the newspaper in the last just 2 or 3 days, there are so many organizations now that have taken over like one segment. Big Brothers was where people got food, they got coal, they got wood for burning, they got prosthetics when they needed it. There was no other organization could do that. Now you have Easter seals, you have the tuberculosis, you have all these other groups that do things. And we're proud of them, but it's causing us now to have to change our focus. Known as the agency of last resort, when you need one-time help, Big Brothers of Nashville is the place to be. And of course, the problem we're having now is name recognition, because there's so many organizations similar to ours.
Well, now, what are you doing, Mr. Cohn, in reference to this name recognition? I mean, how have you tried to separate yourself from everybody else?
Well, we've started a campaign to make sure people understand who we are. We think Big Brothers Big Sisters is a good organization, but they only are a children's organization where they take care of kids. We take care of every circumstance. In the past, in looking up the history of this organization, the first penicillin that was purchased in Nashville for the use of a doctor was purchased by Big Brothers of Nashville. My pleasure when I was president, we had the opportunity to buy a automatic bed, which cost at that time $20,000. It was a bed that people who had bed sores could be in, and nobody in Nashville had one. We received a request from a doctor for somebody who was getting bed sores, and we made arrangements to find one in New Orleans, and they brought it up here to Nashville. We thought it was fantastic. Somebody that lays in bed for hours and hours and hours just really has a problem. But Big Brothers bought the first one, and then Alcoa gave us enough money to buy 2 more. But now you can buy a mattress that does the same thing. So we were the first. And that's what we pride ourselves in, is helping people who can't help themselves.
Well, what would you say, we've got the last 32 seconds here, RCohn. What would you say to folks who to demonstrate your need? I mean,
our need is, because of name recognition, it's Big Brothers of Nashville Incorporated, and we do what no other organization will do, and that's why we are so appreciative of the opportunity to tell our story.
Do you need volunteers over the last 15 seconds that we have here?
Yes, we do, and all they have to call it in the front of the phone book, Big Brothers of Nashville Incorporated.
Very good. And of course, let me interrupt here for this first commercial break, and we'll be back with two other individuals from Big Brothers of Nashville following this short commercial break. The topic